Hey everybody, it's Angelo with Angelo's Workbench. Welcome back to video number 3 in the 1972 Ford Maverick Grabber video series. Let's get right to work. Okay, so this kit didn't have windows, I don't think. If it did, I didn't print them. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll with making my own, which is easy enough to do. I'm just going to take a pen here, and I'm just going to kind of place this on the car, and I'm gonna need a light source so that I can see through. And I'm just gonna kind of sketch like around where the window is, and I'll make like a paper template. This is a real rough representation because it doesn't have to be exact right now. It just has to be close. I want it to be bigger than what I need, so that I can trim it down. And that is a real rough. In fact, I don't like that. We're gonna do this differently. You know what? I can mark it from the inside substantially easier. Hey, there we go. Look at that. There we go. So now that I have marked it from the inside, now keeping in mind that I'm going to have to go much bigger to have this work. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to go much bigger. I love working with a new blade. Nice and sharp. All right, so there is my beginnings of a template. And let us see how we did. Oh, we did pretty good. Pretty good. So now I just need to fine tune this with some guesstimation here. So this bottom part, I just need to take a little tiny bit off. And again, keeping in mind this is just a template. I will just cut a little tiny bit off and a little tiny bit off and a little tiny bit off until I have it. And let's see here. You know what? I'm going to try and keep these. I think it would be beneficial to try and keep these lines fairly straight. Because the line is, if the line gets wonky, then I'm just going to have trouble fitting it. And on the height, I have gone too small. How do you like that? So we're going to start again. This is a process, and one that I'm not very good at because I haven't done it very much. I'm going to try something with a smaller tip to see if I can get closer to the actual size. And now let me see if I can get in this angle here. There we go. So this should be much closer to the actual size that I need. So I'm only going to go slightly bigger than this line. I'm going to try and stay as straight as possible. Sometimes it takes a couple tries on this stuff. And this is something that I don't do that often, to be honest. I don't make my own windows very often without any kind of template. So I haven't created a lot of window templates. So let's see how this one does. I think that this one looks a lot better. So let's see here. Oh, wow. I got the height perfect. And I just have to round the corners on this, and I've got a template, I think. So I'll just round that corner a little bit. Yeah, this is that is obviously a much better process for template creation. I'm gonna just cut off the corners a little bit, and look at that. We got a back window. Pretty much. That looks pretty awesome. It needs to be this side right here is off a little bit because I went a little wide. Need to kind of straighten it out. And that is a window. So now it's time to cut that out of clear plastic. And I don't think I need to label it. I think it's quite obvious that it is not the front window. So there's the rear window. Let's get rid of the old one so that accidents don't happen. The last thing I want to do is cut the clear plastic out of the wrong template. So now it's time to make a front window. And how we're going to do that is pretty much the same process. I'm going to mark this from the inside with the Sharpie. And I'm going to try to hold this straight. There we go. And there's that. And then what I'll try to do is, again, very slightly bigger. Not a lot. Because the larger I make it, the more I have to cut off. And that's where I run into trouble, apparently. Thus far, anyway. So I'm just going to cut that a little bigger. This is where I'm happy I don't drink very much caffeine. You get very steady hands if you don't drink caffeine. And I like caffeine, I don't drink very much of it. And this is why it's good. So I'm going to make a mental note to just go a little bit larger on the sides. And I will do that by going like this. Draw a couple of arrows. And that'll tell me that I need to expand the sides just a little bit, but the top and bottom is nice. And yeah, I just need a little bit on each side. I mean, that one would work, but having a little bit of extra material on each side would be good. And then for the back window, I might just go from the inside. It'll be a lot easier rather than trying to get that side window shape exactly right. Though I probably could. What I need to do is just take a smaller piece of paper and put it in here. I'm not going to have any side windows. Windows are down on this one, just like the Mustang. I guess I can get that. The side ones are easier to do than the front and the back. I thought it was going to be the other way around. Look at that. There's the windows. Awesome. And I'll go a little bit bigger again on the black lines. A lot bigger because I'm going to go from the inside with this glass, with the rear windows. I think that'll be easier. So I'm going to make these bigger. I probably didn't have to cut two of these. I probably could have just mirror imaged it. But we'll see what happens. No harm in having two. Oh yeah. That's going to fit perfectly. I got plenty of glue area. I'm going to try and experiment. I'm going to try and cut this one just a little bit bigger. And see how that works. Let's see. Yeah, I can work with that. I might use that as my template rather than the other one. Yep. So that'll be the back windows. I'll just flip them, make 2 and flip them. And these guys can go away. And that is making window templates 101. I think this is quite possibly one of the first times I've done this. And there's my window template. So I'm going to get the clear plastic and get ready to cut them out. Okay, so these are clear plastic boxes that I get at Hobby Lobby for like $5 for a package of them. And it's like for like putting cookies in, like if you made like cookies or candies or something and you put them in, and you can see I cut a window out here already. But it's basically large sheets of clear plastic, which is ideal for making model glass. So here we go. I'm going to cut this one off because there's enough on here to get a couple of windows out of, but not all of them. And then I'm going to cut off this other piece because I don't want to, obviously the seam of the box doesn't make a good window. There we go. New blade cuts all the way through, usually on the first try. It's nice. I like it. All right, so now we've got we got plenty of plastic here. So first things first, let's use up this piece. And now this is the one where I said, you know what, I'm going to tape this down a little bit so that it doesn't move. Just like that. Perfect. And I said I wanted to go a little bigger on the sides, so I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to just go a little bit bigger. There we go. And now I'm going to cut on the paper. And there's that. And now I believe this is the windshield. So I know there's a little curvature at the bottom. There we go. And there is my no, there's my template. There is my window. Okay. So now let's see. The moment of truth. And going a little bit bigger was, in fact, a good idea, because now I have some trimming to do. So that's okay. We can handle that. Just gonna take off a little bit. Now let's try it again. Aha, perfect. So my length is good. And I just need to put a curvature in the top. Somehow my template didn't pick that up. That there is a little bit of curvature needed in the top. Here we go. So that one didn't come out as well as I wanted it to. Let's see. Yep. And I'm going to need to trim a little bit more on this top here. And again, you just take small amounts off. There we go. You need very small amounts. Because obviously if you take too much, guess what? You're making another window. And that looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. I need to take a super small smidge off of this end right here. Very small, like a little tiny sliver. Because it was trying to pop up. And if you don't get it right, it'll try and pop up. And then when you try and glue it down and tape it, like it won't glue. Because it'll pop up and it won't go into the glue. That is a perfect front windshield. Nicely done. And now I'll do the same with the back window, and we'll move forward. So now that the templates are done, the windows are done, I've got them all right here. And also worthy of note is I am saving the templates just in case I need to cut another one. I don't have to start from scratch. Once the car is all done, I will throw the templates away. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my handy-dandy pinstripe tape. I buy this at the local auto parts store. And it's very good for masking around corners and things like that. It does a great job because you can stretch it and twist it, and it kind of just conforms. It's kind of cool. It's cool stuff. So I use this combined with my yellow frog tape to do all of my masking. Like when I masked this hood, for example, because these stripes are painted on, I masked with the yellow frog tape. And then a little teeny tiny strip up the middle, I have a razor blade knife that I have a note on that says double blade. And it's got 2 blades in there. I don't know if you can see that. And when you run 2 blades together like that, you can cut very, very thin strips of masking tape. Trick I learned from the lowrider paint guys. Because I want to do a lowrider paint job, so I've been watching some of those videos. And then that enables you to cut super thin lines to mask. And you'll see what I'm doing here with this pinstripe tape is I'm just working it around the corner. Just like that. You just pull it up and then put it back down, pull it up, put it back down, pull it up, put it back down, pull, 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 stretch, 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 and there's the nice rounded corner for the mask. And this is good masking material. You still want to go light with your first couple of coats, of course, because you don't want the paint to use capillary action and suck under. So you throw a couple of light mist coats on first. You let that cure. It seals the line. And then you can fully paint it. But you never really wet it out, the trim. It's always a very light coat. And then getting this off of the backing paper is sometimes an adventure. There we go. Got it. So now I'm going to mate this up with the other piece. Which can be tricky. But again, it's flexible tape, so it's pretty easy to work with. There we go. And now it's time to get this corner going. So I'm already pulling on it to stretch the tape. Then I'm going to start working it around the corner. Get back in camera view here. You need to be careful. If you pull it too much, it'll snap. It'll also kind of get a little warm as you're stretching it. It's kind of cool how this stuff works. And I'm just a little bit. This one is fighting me just a little bit here. It keeps on cutting that corner too close. All right, so that's pretty good. I can work with that. I think I stretched it too much. It happens. There we go. Now I got it. And then for the top here, I notice there's just a little tiny bit of jagged edge. So a little piece of yellow tape will take care of that. And then this bottom, I'm going to do with the yellow tape because it is mostly straight. There we go. And now I just need a couple of small pieces for the sides. There we go. And a little piece for right here. There. And that is ready for paint. And I'm just going to do one more row of tape here, just for good measure. And I kind of point it up at an angle to keep any spray from going that way. Some guys mask and cover the whole body. You know, I'm doing my trims most of the time with water base or the chrome paint, and all of that removes off of this clear coat very easily. So I don't worry too much about the overspray. If I get a little tiny bit of overspray, I just hit it with a little bit of polishing compound and it's gone. If you want to cover your whole body, feel free. Some guys use plastic, use tape and drape, that kind of stuff. Which is, you know, tape and drape is just plastic with a masking tape line on it, and they use it in body shops. I've got a bunch of it. You would put the tape on, and then there'd be a piece of plastic here to just kind of cover this. And that's cheap insurance, but I'm very close with the airbrush and very accurate. So I don't usually get very much in the way of overspray, and if I do, it's usually just a little bit, and it just buffs right off. So I choose to save the tape. And there I am, ready to go. Other guys will mask off the whole body and leave all the windows open at once. I like to do them one at a time. I don't know why. It's just my own personal preference. That's the great thing about this hobby, is there's so many different ways to do things. We all do them differently, and we do what works for us. And this works for me, and I enjoy it. And that's that. So now I'm gonna put some chrome trim on this. Okay, so fresh from the spray booth, I get some chrome trim on here. And you'll see there's no overspray anywhere. I know we were talking about overspray. But, and there is a chrome trimmed out window, which is pretty good to me. So I'll let that cure. And which only takes about 5-10 minutes. This stuff cures pretty quick. Then I'll move on and mask off the next windows, spray the next windows the same way that we just did. And I basically just have some door handles and a couple little trim pieces on the body to do, and I can put this, start putting this thing back together, you know, finishing it up. Okay, as you can see, I've done the interior in a semi-gloss black. And it's a relatively simple interior. And again, you know, Andre does give you the option on the print files to print the door cards separately, the sides separately from the pan. I chose to print the pan as one big piece, and then the dashboard as one big piece, and then each of the seats is a separate piece. So it's a relatively simple interior, but the textures of the parts are very nice. The seats look very realistic. The dashboard looks like $1,000,000. It's going to glue up into a very nice, good-looking interior. So I'm using crazy glue, of course, because regular model glue doesn't work on this. These are 3D printed parts, are printed from resin, and regular model glue works by melting the plastic, so you can't use regular model glue here. So keep watching, and I will continue gluing this interior together. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you're liking what you see. Hit that bell, make sure you get notified when I post new content. Also, feel free to check me out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, all as Angelo's Workbench. Let's get back to it. So here's how I'm going to make my window masks for the windows to paint the black trim around them. I'm just going to kind of outline the glass here on the tape. It doesn't have to be exact, just be real close, that's all. There we go, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to cut out where I don't want black paint to go. There we go. And there is my paint mask. So now we just stick it on the glass, which is really difficult to find if you don't know right where it is on your workbench, because it's clear and it disappears. And then you can always make some adjustments too to it. If you need to. But I think that's going to give me a pretty good result. Now those are ready to be airbrushed black. That's going to do it for video number 3 in the 1972 Ford Maverick Grabber video series. Thank you for watching. Come on back next week for video number 4, where we will wrap this build up and have the completed slideshow. Go ahead and click that like, comment, subscribe. Do all of that stuff. Send me questions. I love to hear from you guys. Also check me out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, all under Angelo's Workbench. I look forward to seeing you next week for video number 4.